I don't really follow mining stocks that much, gold miners, any metal miners, but I look now and wow, right? The Gold Explorers ETF, GLDX, it's down from like uh, over $39 to about $12. That's a pretty big hit, and also the 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 uh, the GDX is down too. I mean, GDX is down more than 50% in the last year. Let me put this little quote in here. Hang on a second. GDX. Yeah, it's down from like 55 to like 23 and change. So that's a much more brutal move than the metals themselves going down. And I'm sure people who have these stocks or these indexes are well aware of that. So yeah, the volatility of the miners is much greater than the metals themselves. So yeah, I've been kind of talking about stocks recently, right, and investing and so forth. And I'm going to hit you with kind of like two opposite approaches. One is the technical only aspect where you want to have the best, algorithms or the best, I don't know, quantitative stuff, right? An example is like the black box thing. You get like a system. You get a system or a black box where you're not concerned with anything else than the numbers moving. And Ernie Veritimos, who works with, remember Scope Labs? Remember the guy Scope Labs? He used to do videos, very colorful guy, really good commentary. A trader, him, so the Apple investor who's Ernie and Greg Simmons who's Scope Labs, they create like a black box. And the way it works is they give you text messages like on a trade. So like every other day or so you might get a text message saying, hey, there's a trade. And then the next day you might have a closeout saying the trade is closed. And that is one approach they're doing. So what's happening is you're saying, okay, how good are these guys as a team? Like, and what can they do for a black box system, right? So I kind of wish Greg would do more videos, but I guess, there's not enough views. He's got a lot of other things in the works and so forth. But I do get traders like this guy, Robbie G, and others who leave comments on my channel. I really appreciate that. So that's on the one end. You try and have a really good technical black box system. And for a good system, you'll have a record. You can see how well has the system done in the past, right? Now, the other approach is from this book I'm still reading from Peter Lynch. He says is that the dumb money, which is us, we have an advantage over Wall Street. What's that advantage? Well, we're the actual consumers of products, right? These algorithms are not consuming anything. They're just looking at numbers, right? But when it comes to real thing and real trends, it's all about people. So an example he gave in his book was The Limited. There was a store called The Limited. He said early back in his career, he had a wealthy big client who was looking for, stocks, right? And his wife just started shopping at this place called The Limited. And the wife was saying, oh yeah, me and all my friends, we love this place. We're going to buy all of our clothes here. And the guy's like, I never heard of this place, some shopping store. And he's like, I don't want to hear about it. I'm going to invest in this company that I got a big hot tip on from some guy in Wall Street, right? So what happened was this Limited store, it was his wife as a shopper and her friends were kind of like, were like very trendy people. So they were early adopters when it came to things like fashion, right? Or what's going to become fashionable, right? So what happened was his wife actually had found a huge winner, right? Because it was observation about what was going to become popular. So what happened is the guy was like, no, I don't want to hear it. But guess what happened? Several years later, when the Limited exploded in price, that's when his Wall Street buddies recommended it. So the guy bought it, and then it fell in price, right? So it's ironic because his wife had her ear to the ground on what is going to become fashionable, right? For example, with silver, right? The early silver channels were like saying this silver, it's going to be a big thing, right? And so I went to some of these, like Schwab, whatever, and they're saying, oh, don't touch silver, don't touch silver. Yeah, it's blah 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 blah. Well, sure enough, silver it took off, and it took off again. All of a sudden, these other places were recommending it. Right? It's like, wait a second, why were they dissing this stuff, years ago, and now they're all jumping on the bandwagon now, right? And so that's the kind of thing is look for observations. Like for example, like Panera. Like the first time a Panera opened up here, right? And I said, this is a great concept, a great idea. That was the time to consider investing it, right? Once Panera is plastered all over the news, right? Maybe the trend is kind of in its maturity, and I don't know. But what I'm saying is this guy's approach is that he's saying, actually, it's the dumb money. You have an advantage. If you know something, for example, if you're a fisherman, right, and you know what's going to be hot and what's going to be not in fishing, like, right, then you invest, like, if there's a certain kind of lure that's just amazing and you know it's going to catch on, then you invest in that lure company, and that's your edge. These shirts on Wall Street, right? They don't know what's going to be popular among fishermen, right? Most of them don't. They're just looking at these numbers, right? What happens is their algorithms will capture a part of that, right? So what happens is you have this, this product, like this really amazing lure, right? And Wall Street doesn't hop on it until after you get this takeoff, and then they try and milk it, and they use their algorithms to try and, smack the stock. But is the dumb money who knows fishing, which products, are up and coming. You invest in those companies. Then when these big Wall Street hot shots all start pumping it, then you get out. That's kind of the point of this, is what is your expertise in life? What do you know in life, right? There are things that in your life that you can see trends on, right? For example, if you're a plumber, right, you probably know, hey, this kind of thing's going to become really, you're seeing it become really popular in houses, right? A certain type of pipe, if the trend changes and what people want for pipes, right, then you invest in the company that does that, right? And then when it gets saturated, you try and find another trend. That's kind of the gist of this book, and I'm really enjoying it. Of course, I'm not an expert on this stuff. I'm just reading books, and I'm feeling all inspired, right, by some of the stuff I'm reading. But just because I feel inspired by reading a few books doesn't mean I'm an expert in anything. All right, thanks for watching.